What is up, YouTube? It's EOS coming back at you with another programming tutorial. So today we're doing program 2 in my Intro to Computer Science class. This is all about variable declaration. By the way, if you guys are liking the content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and absolutely smash that notification bell. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. At 500 subscribers, remember, I will be dropping a roommate reveal. So without further ado, let's get into program number 2. All right, so let's read some of the parameters of this assignment. So we have to establish three variables that hold three measurements which are required to find the room. So we're going to need a variable for length, a variable for width, and a variable for height, as well as a fourth variable to hold the units that our measurements are being given in. So we have to set the values for each of these four variables in a room that we are familiar with. Okay, so for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to be using the sample outputs and I'm just going to be recreating this sample output here just so it's easier to follow along for the video. So we're going to calculate the total surface area of only the floor of the room, and then we're going to calculate the total surface area of only the four walls in the room. Then we're going to display our surface area in units squared, and we're going to display our surface area. Oh, okay. Display the surface area of the room, of the floor of the room in units squared, and then the four walls of the room in units squared. Okay. So now that we know the parameter of the assignment, let's talk a little bit about variable types in Java. So I actually made a little ChatGPT table to define them. So these are the kinds of variable types that we'll probably encounter in this class. We won't really have to worry about float, long, short, and byte. So I'll only explain these five right here. So we have integers, which are whole numbers that range from -2 billion to 2 billion. You won't really have to worry about this part. We're never going to really exceed 2 billion in this class. And to declare one or to initialize a variable, we just say the type of the variable, the name of the variable, and then the actual value of its variable. So for example, count could be named anything. This could be named blue. This could be named the sky. This could be named anything. So the only things that can't change are int and the equal sign, because we can also change the value, of course. So ints are only whole numbers. The difference between ints and doubles is that doubles can have decimal points. So you can have like 1.1 or 2.5 or something like that, but ints can only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the only difference between ints and doubles. Doubles have decimals and ints do not. Now we have booleans, and booleans can only have true or false. So a boolean value can only have, so like for example, this is active variable, because it is type boolean, can either only be true or false. There's no other values that can be assigned to is active. For char, char is only for symbols. So example, grade can only be, A, it can be C, D, E, F. But char can also have like other letters like G and H, but it's only single letters or symbols. It can only just be one. So we can't have A, B, C. We can only have A as a variable. Now let's talk about string. So string is just a sequence of characters. So char is a little different from string because we can have a whole name here. For example, string name equals John Doe. You could have anything inside of these parentheses, but you have to make sure when you declare a string variable that you have some parentheses inside of them. And again, to declare any of these variables, you have to do the type of the variable, then you do the name of whatever the variable you are assigning, then equals, and then the value of your variable. And you always close these with a semicolon. Again, we will not be talking about these. These are not really relevant to this assignment or really this class. Okay, so now that we have a little bit of knowledge with these types, we can start coding up our assignment. All right, so I got Eclipse open here. Basically, we're just going to go to File, like we did last time. We're going to go to New, Java Project, and we're going to do Program 02 YT. You can do 2, oh sorry, YT. You can do 2 or 02, doesn't really matter, as long as you're able to remember what it is. Now we have this, we're going to right click go to new, we're going to go to class, and then the name of this will be, I don't know, room calc or something like that. Let's turn our main method on. So we're going to press this button here, and then we're going to press finish. All right, it's going to take us right to our class, just like last time. We have our public class room calc, which is the name of our class. And then we have our main method right here. And we also have this comment. We can just get rid of it. It doesn't affect our code at all. So now that we have these braces, I usually try to keep all of these braces in line. This is just something that I do to make my code look better to me. But again, you can do whatever you want. All right, so now let's try to declare our variables. Let's go back to the parameters of the assignment really quick. Okay, so we're going to need a variable for length, width, and height. And we're going to be using these for the purposes of this assignment. So we're going to need a length of 9.0, a width of 12.5, and a height of 8.25. So right off the bat, from knowing what we know about our types, we can assume that these are going to be type double. Even 9.0 will be a double because integers cannot be 1.0. They have to be just 1. If there's any decimal at all, it's automatically a double. So let's try to code this up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the type of the variable, so double. Then we're going to do the name of the variable, which will be L for length. And then we're going to set this equal to 9.0 and end it with a semicolon. So I'm going to write a comment here, variable of type double, and its value, variable of type double. Yeah, let's do this. Variable of type double named L, and its value is 9.0. I really recommend getting in the habit of writing comments on your code. It's very good, especially when you're just starting out coding. So then we'll do a variable for width. So we'll do double W equals 12.5, and that with a semicolon. And then we can even write a comment here. I probably won't write comments on every single line of this code just because the program is a little repetitive, but we'll do variable of type double names W, and its value is 12.5. Awesome. So now we'll need another value for height. So we want the value of height to be 8.25. So we'll do double H equals 8.25. All right, boom. So now we have a variable. We have all our variables initialized, and they all have a value associated with them. If you see that there's like a yellow underline here, it's always associated with this icon right here, and it says that this variable is not used. Well, don't worry, we will be using them eventually. So the next thing we need to do is we need to give a value of the units that we're measuring in. So we're actually going to be using a string type here, and I'll explain why we're using string a little bit later, but we'll do string. And then we'll do feet. So we'll do ft equals, because we'll be measuring this in feet. Why not? And then when we declare a string variable, we need quotation marks, and we'll do feet. We'll do undercase, why not? And then we have to end it with a semicolon, just like this. So I'll actually make a comment for this one of type string, named ft, and its value is feet. Put this quotation marks. So this is the value of our ft variable, which is just feet. So now we want to measure the floor surface area. So to get surface area, it's always just length times width. So if we want length times width, but we want to make it a new variable, we can do something like this. So we still have to make it to type, so we'll do double floor, and we'll make it something very easy to remember. So we'll do floor, there we go, surface, area. Usually you want your variables to be named something a little shorter than this, but for the context of this assignment, I just want to make sure that there's no confusion in what we're doing. So we'll do floor surface area, and this will be equal to length times, and to do multiplication in Java, we do a star width. Then we close that with a semicolon. If you see here, the local variable not used went away for length and width because it is now being used here. But now we'll be getting an error here because this variable is not being used. But trust me, we will be using all these variables. So we also need the wall surface area. And remember, we want each of the walls to get their own surface area. So we'll do a variable of type double, and and to get the walls, it's length times height. So we'll do length times, let's start at height, end it with a semicolon. But remember, oops, we actually didn't give this a name. So we're going to double wall, we'll do wall surface area, and this is going to be equal to length times height. So we actually need to do one more thing for this wall surface area, and that is because we're currently only finding the surface area for one wall, but we need to do it for all 4 walls in this room. So we're going to do 4 times, we're going to do 4 and then in parentheses, we're going to do times. So there's a little bit of math, but we're doing 4 times the length times height. So we find the area for one wall, and then we multiply it by 4 to find the area of 4 walls. So now that we have our floor surface area, our wall surface area, and all our variables made, we can now print the outputs. So let's go back to the parameters of this assignment. All right, so let's go back into the parameters. So these are the things that need to be printed out. So we need given a length of 9.0 meters, given a width of 12.5 meters, and given a height of 8.25 meters. The room's floor surface area is this value, and the room's walls total surface area is this value. So let's go back and try to actually print these outputs here. So if you notice in our code, we actually can't print anything. We haven't made anything that's actually able to be printed. So let's try this real quick. Give it a second. And if you see nothing's actually going to the screen, it's because we haven't used any print statements. So let's try to set up some print statements to replicate that output. So the first thing we can do is we'll try to replicate the given a length of 9.0 meters requirement. So we'll do system.out.print. Then we'll use our parentheses and our quotation marks. We'll say given a length of, and then we're going to do something like this. So we're going to end this quotation, do a plus, and then throw in L, another plus, just like this. And the reason we're doing that is we want to actually print out the current value of L. So we want 9.0 to be printed to the screen, but let's say this is like 8.0. Then instead of editing this whole comment here, this 8.0 would just be printed. So it makes our code more dynamic. So we'll change that back to 9. So right now, given a length of 9.0 meters, I just realized this actually should be changed to meters. We'll do M. Okay. Given a length of meters. And so to organize our code here, when we have a variable, we have to have a plus sign, or else it's not going to make any sense. And even if we have 2 strings together, we're going to need a plus sign to concatenate them or put them together. So we need plus L, and then we need plus to get the L to connect with the other side of the program. So let's try to print this out. All right, there we go. And if we even want to space this out, we could just do a space like this. Given a length of space here, then let's run it one more time, and boom, now it's completely spaced out. So given a length of 9.0 meters. And so one other thing is that if you want another variable here, because we have a variable that holds our meters, we could actually just do L plus M, just like this. And boom, given a length of 9.0 meters. All right, now let's try it for the next print statement. So we'll do system dot out dot print quotation marks, and we'll do given. We'll actually do ln here to make a new line for this. So then we'll do given oh, not given, just a height of, we'll have a space here, plus h, then we'll do m. Let's try to run this again and see if it worked. 8.25 meters, awesome. We'll do another ln statement because we're going to make another line for our next statement. Print ln quotation marks, and we're going to need to close this with the semicolon. A width and a width of w plus m. Let's see where we're at so far, and a width of m. Then we can do the next print statements, the last two. ln semicolon here. We'll do the total floor area. Oops, we need our quotation marks here. Total floor surface area is, I'm actually just going to copy this right here because it's a lot. So we're going to need m, and then we're also going to need squared. So we'll do this. And then quotation marks, semicolon, and we're going to do is plus, oops, let's just copy this variable here. Wall surface area plus m plus squared. Then we can also space the squares out. Just put one space before them. That way it'll be a little spaced out in our code. And let's try running this one more time. All right, so given a length of 9.0 meters, a height of 8.25 meters, and a width of 12.5 meters, the floor surface area is, we can actually give one space here and run it again just to make it look clean. I'm kind of a stickler for making it look clean. The total floor surface area is 112.5 meters squared, and the total wall surface area is 297.0 meters squared. So let's see if that matches the output here. We actually need 3.475 meters squared. So it looks like we're off. Let's try to fix this. All right, guys, I found the solution to the error. It was just with the wall surface area calculation. So let's try to fix it. So instead of 4 times L times H, we're going to do 2 times, we'll do parentheses here. So it's L times W, or L times H, sorry. L times H plus W times H. Then we'll have parentheses here. And then we'll also have parentheses here. All right, now let's see. Actually, we could try to space this out just to make it look easier, more readable. Okay, now let's see if this gives us the output that we want. So 354.75. Now let's see if the calculation is correct. 354.75. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you had a good time watching. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to smash that notification bell. I'll see you in the next one.